Archangel Michael has summed up your entire life in one message, and it contains the most urgent choice you'll ever make. Open immediately. A moment has arrived that heaven has long prepared for. Not days ago, not years ago, but before time began, a line was written in the scrolls of eternity, and that line pointed to this moment, this hour, this very breath you're now taking. It is not accidental. It is not coincidental. You are not here by human invitation, but by divine summoning. And the one who calls is not just a messenger, he is the warring archangel, the defender of heaven's order, the commander of angelic armies, Michael. In his hand is a scroll, a sacred scroll, not of laws, nor prophecy alone, but of you. Your name is written. Your tears are recorded. Your breakthroughs, your battles, your betrayals, your secret intercessions, they are all chronicled, witnessed, and weighed. This is not just a message. This is a heavenly unveiling, a moment when the veil thins, and you are shown the weight, the war, and the wonder of who you truly are. But hear this clearly, not all have received this word. Not all were summoned. This is not a general calling. This is a chosen cry to a soul marked by fire, shaped by pain, and now standing at a crossroads where eternity leans in. You have been invited into a silence that shifts the heavens, a divine pause, a holy stillness. Now, before you proceed, still your heart. Silence the noise. Let your spirit grow quiet enough to hear not just words, but the voice within the words. For what is coming is not information, it is impartation. It is not suggestion, it is summons. Your entire life is being summed up in this one message, and in it lies the most urgent choice you will ever make. What you decide in the coming moments will open or close a door in the spirit that affects generations. Yes, generations. Heaven has waited to speak this. And now, heaven watches to see how you will respond. Type "I receive this word" in the comments if this message is speaking to you. Blessing code 777 has just been released over your life. He speaks now. The archangel steps through the veil, his voice like thunder wrapped in wind, and yet it lands on your spirit like a whisper you've always known. Michael, the captain of heavenly armies, the warden of divine justice, has been released to you. Not to the multitude, not to the crowd, to you. And with him, he brings not only the authority of heaven but a decision that carries the weight of your destiny. Before the next dawn, heaven awaits your answer. This is not poetry. This is not metaphor. This is divine countdown. The sands are shifting through the glass of time, and what you do within the next moments will not just change your life. It will shift the atmosphere that surrounds your name in the spirit realm. Michael does not speak lightly. His sword is not drawn for sentiment. His presence signals a breaking point between what was and what must now be. The warfare over your life has hit its apex. The watchers have been dispatched. The warfare has intensified not because you are forgotten, but because you are finally being remembered by heaven. And what heaven remembers, hell resists. Why now? Because the weight of your destiny is tipping. Because the prayers you wept years ago have reached a fullness. Because the accusations whispered behind closed doors are now being brought before the courts of heaven. Because the enemy thought you were too wounded to walk, too silenced to speak, too broken to believe. But heaven disagrees. And so, Michael comes. He comes with scrolls sealed in fire. He comes with the name of the Father engraved across his blade. He comes with the decree of the Almighty, a verdict that cannot wait. And in this moment, he looks not at your mistakes, not at your weakness, not at the opinions of others, but directly into the depth of your spirit, the part of you still alive with divine potential. This message is not a broadcast. It is a targeted strike into your soul. Others may hear it, but not all will feel it. If you are trembling, if your heart is racing, if your chest feels like it's splitting open, it is because your name is echoing in the courts of heaven right now. The fire you feel is not fear, it is recognition. Michael speaks only when heaven's warfare demands a response. And make no mistake, your response is the pivot point. The yes you whisper or the silence you hold will cause tremors in the unseen realm. Angels are already positioned. Demons are already trembling. And you stand in between as the deciding voice. You may not understand everything right now. But what matters is this: you are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not late. You are standing inside a divine window, one where eternal strategies are being revealed and your role is being activated. So now, listen beyond the voice. Hear the trembling in the air. The warfare around you is not random. It is recognition. Something within you has awakened, and now, something around you must shift. Archangel Michael has come to summon you, not into battle alone, but into awareness, into discernment, into your own awakening. The time has come for you to see yourself not as you have been, but as heaven has always seen you. And that means your answer is due. Before the next dawn breaks, the realms will await the sound of your surrender, your obedience, your voice raised in alignment. Will you whisper the yes that heaven has waited for? Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. There have been whispers. There have been shadows. Words spoken in rooms your body never entered, but your name did. Conversations that carried the weight of accusation, assumptions wrapped in smiles, discernment twisted into judgment. You were discussed, dissected, and decided upon without ever being known. They saw you, yes. They saw the outside. They saw fragments of your failure. They saw moments of your weakness. They saw glimpses of your struggle, but they never saw your surrender. They never saw your prayers soaked in midnight tears. They never saw the crushing weight of obedience when you had every reason to quit. They watched, but they did not know the fullness of who you are. This is the ache you couldn't name. The strange heaviness. The silent warfare. The spiritual fatigue that clings to your ribs like chains. You have felt the undercurrent, haven't you? That strange tension. A sensation of being misread, misunderstood, mislabeled. But heaven speaks now. It was not your imagination. It was intercession. Your name has been carried into places your feet have never stepped. Not by invitation, but by misrepresentation. Words have gone ahead of you that you never authorized. But let the Spirit of the Lord reveal this to you. What the enemy used as gossip, heaven is reclaiming as evidence. What they said about you is about to be used to validate your promotion. There are those who cast shadows on your light because they feared what it would reveal in them. They sensed something, a vibration, a frequency, a heavenly oil upon your life, and instead of seeking understanding, they sought to contain it. They felt your calling but misread it as threat. They felt your transformation, but labeled it rebellion. They saw your isolation but thought it was punishment, not preparation. Yes, even those closest to you misunderstood the assignment on your life. But heaven saw the separation. Heaven saw the late nights when you questioned your own worth. Heaven saw when you rehearsed your wounds in silence because the crowd you loved didn't know how to love you back. And so, Michael speaks. Not just to confront the lies, but to correct the record. To reveal that this isolation was orchestration. The disruption in relationships with divine protection. That you were hidden not because you were unworthy, but because you were uncrowned royalty, being prepared for a weighty coronation. That loneliness was not the enemy, it was a womb of transformation. Let your spirit ask this now: who has seen me? Who has truly known me? Who has spoken in my absence? And who has stood in my silence? Heaven answers with clarity: the Most High has seen. The one who watches in secret is now rewarding you openly. The records of every unjust word, every betrayal, every half-truth, they have been brought before the throne. Judgment hath been rendered. And now, vindication is being released not with noise but with undeniable favor. At unease in your spirit, at confusion in your emotions, a heaviness you couldn't explain. It was not anxiety. It was not depression. It was spiritual disruption, your soul recognizing that what has been said no longer fits who you are becoming. You are not who they said you were. You are not limited by who they thought you were. You are not bound by their perceptions or their silence. You are rising. The Lord has heard. Michael has been sent. And this message, this moment, is proof that you have been heard, even when you were unheard. You have been seen, even when you were unseen. You have been marked, even when you were mocked. Heaven is correcting the narrative. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1122 is now activated over your name. You've just witnessed the enemy's narrative fall under the fire of divine truth. And now, this is where your yes becomes a weapon of heaven. Every soul who hears this message is part of a greater move of God, and by supporting this ministry, you're not just giving, you're igniting revival. When you sow into this message, through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or by giving through PayPal link in the description, you are helping this prophetic word reach the ones who feel silenced, forgotten, and unseen. You are planting seeds in soil drenched with warfare and harvest. Your support is light in someone's darkness. The oil flows when obedience moves. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given to you." But today, hear it as, "Give, and others will be given life through you." This is that moment. I feel it. If this message is confirming something deep within you, then respond prophetically. May your giving release a reversal. May your offering become the sound of justice. May your obedience unlock the next voice that needs this word. So where the oil is flowing, stand with us. Be a part of heaven's movement. Act now. There are battles that come to you not because of who you were but because of who you're becoming. Let that truth settle deeply now. The storms didn't rise to destroy you. The isolation didn't come to punish you. The betrayals, the loss, the long nights of unanswered questions, they were not random acts of suffering. They were spiritual warfare. Calculated, timed, launched in precision by forces that recognized something that even you, for a long time, did not fully understand. You are marked. You are a threat to darkness. And the very reason your life has felt under siege, the very reason you've walked through waves that should have drowned you, is because you were never meant to just survive. You were born to shift atmospheres. And hell knows it. So Michael speaks again, not with softness, but with clarity and command. You were not being punished. You were being pursued by destiny. Understand this. The attacks against your life have not been confirmations of your weakness. They have been proof of your calling. Every area of your life that has come under attack was an area destined for influence. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition. He targets what heaven has crowned. And heaven has crowned you. You must now begin to see your pain through a different lens. That disappointment wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That setback wasn't failure, it was formation. The long nights, the hidden years, they weren't empty. They were the cocoon where your wings were being formed in silence. And while the world slept, heaven watched your tears as evidence. Yes, evidence. Every tear you've cried in private had been recorded. Not one has fallen without notice. They are kept in the bowls of remembrance before the throne. And now, those bowls are tipping. Now, that pain is turning prophetic. What you thought was breaking you was birthing you. You were never just enduring. You were becoming. Michael has not come just to defend you. He has come to declare your shift. This is not just about comfort. This is about commissioning. This is heaven marking you in public for what has long been seen in private. The fire didn't come to consume you. It came to consecrate you. And make no mistake, you are not alone. There are angelic hosts surrounding you even now. You are under divine surveillance. This is why the attacks couldn't fully take you out. This is why the betrayal didn't break you. This is why the depression didn't drown you. You have been surrounded by watchmen from heaven who refuse to let you fall beyond redemption. But now, a moment has come that requires your response. You've been in warfare, yes. But now, you are in decision. What you say from this point on matters. The realm of the Spirit is listening. What you choose to believe matters. The tide is turning. The enemy's axis is shrinking. But your voice is the key. It's not enough to survive this season. Heaven is demanding that you speak your allegiance. Heaven does not bless silence when the moment calls for alignment. Heaven cannot release what you won't receive. And heaven will not override your will. That is why your response matters, because your answer is the activation. And your yes becomes the womb of the promise. So hear this in the Spirit. Your response will determine what heaven releases. Will you fold under pressure, or will you rise under prophecy? Will you keep rehearsing the pain, or will you finally claim the promise? Will you believe that you are being punished, or will you recognize that you are being prepared? Because now, even the angels wait for your agreement. And when heaven hears that yes, the kind that echoes from the deepest part of your belly, the kind that hell cannot counterfeit, then the floodgates will break. The delay will lift. The scales will tip. And the battles you've fought in silence will become the very testimonies that break chains in others. This war was never about just you. It's always been about what would come through you. So stand. Speak. Surrender. Heaven is ready to release what only your yes can unlock. Type my yes is ready in the comments if this message has awakened something inside you. Blessing code 3113 is now unlocking your gates. Hear this now. Movement has begun. Not weeks from now. Not months from now. Not some vague spiritual shift that lives only in symbolism. But in the next 72 hours. Yes, within 3 rotations of the earth. A stirring begins around your name in both the seen and the unseen realms. And the Spirit of the Lord sends Michael not to terrify you, but to prepare you. Because if you are prepared, you cannot be overtaken. Archangel Michael does not come where there is no conflict. He does not release prophetic thunder for those sitting in neutral seasons. His arrival marks warfare in motion. And now the heavens have marked your life as a battleground where destiny must prevail. Within the next 72 hours, adversaries are moving. Some are visible, faces you've known, voices you've heard, patterns you've tolerated. But others are unseen, strategies planted in spiritual shadows, attacks that form behind the veil of your perception, designed to disorient your discernment just long enough for doors to close or delays to take root. But hear this clearly: heaven does not reveal what it will not redeem. This warning is not doom, it is divine insight. A mercy disguised as mystery. You have felt it, haven't you? That strange pressure in your chest. That unexplained anxiety. That strange resistance, where every time you try to move forward, something invisible pushes back. You have sensed that something is shifting but haven't had language for it. Michael now provides the language. The pressure you feel now is the signal of what approaches. You were never meant to walk into this unaware. You were never designed to be caught off guard. This message is your armor. His voice is your shield. This moment is your turning point. Do not panic. Do not retreat. Do not speak carelessly in this hour. The enemy wants you to mislabel what you're feeling as fear, but the truth is this: your spirit is sounding the alarm because your promotion is provoking opposition. That's why the enemy is scrambling. That's why old temptations are resurfacing. That's why old relationships are circling back. That's why doubts you thought were buried are now whispering again. Because in the realm of the Spirit, your name is rising. Your mantle is glowing. And the hell that couldn't kill you now wants to confuse you. So Michael speaks now in fire and finality. Be aware, but do not be afraid. You are not at risk, you are being readied. Listen, what comes against you may wear the disguise of familiar things. A conversation. A text. A temptation. A distraction. But do not be deceived. There are spirits operating behind masks. And in this hour, discernment is your deliverance. You don't need all the details. You don't need to know every face or motive. Heaven has not revealed everything, and that is protection, not omission. Some details are being withheld because your faith must grow deeper than your knowledge. You are not called to figure it out. You are called to stand. Let this stir in your bones. Not everything coming against you will approach with hostility. Some will approach with comfort. But comfort is not always covenant. And not every return is a reconciliation. In the next 72 hours, your silence will be your sword. Your discernment will be your defense. Your ability to pause will save your path. This pressure is not to break you. It is to build a wall between your past and your next. You must not lean on emotion in this moment. You must listen with your spirit. Michael was sent not because you are in danger, but because your destiny is about to pass through a gate that only obedience can unlock. This is why the warning came now. This is why your spirit feels unsettled, because your environment is reacting to the weight of your future. So do not misread the tension. Do not misinterpret the resistance. It is confirmation, not cancellation. You are not late. You are not under attack because you failed. You are under attack because you are about to be revealed. This is not a threat. This is a trumpet. And only those who are awake in the spirit will recognize the hour. You are awake now. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if you receive this warning and choose to stand. Blessing code 4414 is now guarding your next 72 hours. Now that you know the warfare has intensified, now that you know the enemy has stirred in the unseen, now that your spirit has been awakened to the coming movement in the next 72 hours, you must not react. You must not rush. You must not retaliate. Heaven is issuing a direct order through Archangel Michael. Be still. Be still. Be still. Heaven fights best when you don't. This is not the time to explain yourself. Not the hour to defend your name. Not the season to chase clarity from people who never cared for your truth to begin with. You are not called to prove anything. You are called to position yourself in silence and let the winds of heaven speak on your behalf. There is a stillness that sounds louder than shouting. There is a silence that slices through enemy territory like a double-edged sword. And you are being instructed now, by divine order, to wield that silence like a weapon. Michael says, "Stand still. The battlefield is mine." You've fought enough in your own strength. You've cried enough trying to make people see your value. You've wasted too much breath trying to explain a calling they were never meant to understand. Now, the battle has shifted. The sword has changed hands. And heaven's army has taken position. But there's a cost. And that cost is control. This means surrendering the desire to be seen. Surrendering the urge to respond. Surrendering the impulse to react when arrows come flying through social media posts, sideways glances, or disguised conversations. The enemy is baiting you, trying to draw you into battles that heaven has already declared won, if only you stay in your place of peace. Don't trade your throne for a fight in the dirt. Your power now is in stillness. Your protection is in restraint. You are not weak when you're silent. You are dangerous. Because stillness means you are listening. And those who listen to heaven in moments of chaos become unstoppable when the silence breaks. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword. The realm of the spirit is now activated. Angelic warriors have encamped around you. Yes, around your house, your workplace, your family, your name, your steps. You are hedged in by fire. But that protection requires your participation, and that participation is stillness. You must resist the need to explain your evolution to those who never survived their own. You are changing, yes, and it's uncomfortable. But you are not going backwards. Don't let anyone trick you into reopening chapters that heaven has sealed with blood, fire, and oil. The silence is not empty. It is charged with purpose. It is a divine camouflage. It is your invisibility cloak while heaven removes what was sent to distract, derail, and destroy. And when the work is done, when the dust settles, when the voice is quiet, you will still be standing, untouched, and elevated. So begin to say it aloud to your own soul now. I will be still. I will not defend. I will not fight this in the flesh. I trust the armies of heaven. I trust the sword of Michael. I trust the timing of God. The declaration is more powerful than 1,000 arguments. It is a signal in the spirit. It lets the heavens know you're aligned, and it lets the darkness know you are untouchable. And while you are silent, watch. Watch the shifting. Watch the exposure. Watch how things begin to break off your life without you lifting a single finger. This is the moment where God shows himself as defender. You've known him as healer. You've known him as provider. Now, you will know him as warrior, and he will not lose. You were not left defenseless. You were being trained to discern the silence that shatters the plans of hell. So now, walk in it. Abide in it. Rest in it. Heaven is fighting and you are safe inside the stillness. Type "I trust heaven's defense" in the comments if this strategy is confirming your next move. Blessing code 5557 is now surrounding your steps with supernatural shielding. There is a truth the enemy hoped you'd never discover. A truth hidden beneath years of pain, beneath betrayal, beneath silence, a truth the accuser desperately tried to bury in your disappointments. And that truth is this: you are not who you were. The version of you they rejected is no longer here. The version of you they underestimated no longer exists. The one they walked away from, that person has been rebuilt in the fire. And now, you are dangerous. You have been changed. Quietly. Completely. Heaven did not broadcast your transformation because the oil was still being pressed. The wings were still forming. The roar was still loading in your lungs. But now, Archangel Michael steps forward and declares, you are not in hiding anymore. You are rising. This is not a rescue story. This is a resurrection. You didn't just survive. You were remade. Every tear you cried watered the soil of your strength. Every betrayal was a hammer against the shell of your old identity. Every lonely season was a cocoon, and now you are breaking out with fire in your wings. Do not return to their expectations. They remember you as broken, but heaven now remembers you as born again in power. You have been set apart, not because you are perfect, but because you are prepared. Your scars are your strolls. Your wounds are now weapons of wisdom. And let this strike your spirit. They don't know who you've become. They see your face, but they don't know your authority. They hear your voice, but they don't understand your vibration. You are vibrating at a frequency only the obedient can carry. What they dismissed as weakness was actually spiritual pregnancy. What they mocked was movement. What they thought would delay was development. They thought the silence meant your end, but it was only your cocoon. And now, the wings are breaking open. You are not just stepping into victory. You are the victory. You are not begging for the door. You are the key. You are not asking for approval. Heaven has already stamped you. And Michael himself is the one who now confirms. The mantle is upon you. Let them talk. Let them question. Let them wonder. You owe no one an explanation for the weight of glory on your life. You are becoming a warrior under the command of heaven, and warriors do not explain their training to the curious. They simply show up, transformed. Your authority is not arrogance. It is earned obedience. It was forged in suffering. It was baptized in silence. And now, your presence will begin to shift rooms, not because you said anything, but because your spirit entered first. This is no longer survival. It is ascension. You are not crawling anymore, you are climbing. You are not crying alone anymore. You are commanding angels. You are not wondering if you're chosen. You are walking as the chosen. And Archangel Michael, whose presence burns at the edge of your atmosphere even now, whispers this word into your bones: walk as one who carries authority. Speak as one who carries fire. Pray as one who shifts nations. You were not saved to be silent. You were not delivered to disappear. You were made for this moment. So let it be declared over you. This is the end of the valley. This is the end of smallness. This is the end of pretending to be weak so others feel comfortable. This is the beginning of your emergence. Let the old version of you be buried with honor. But do not dig it up for comfort. It no longer fits. A skin is shed. A name has shifted. You are being called by heaven's new name for you. You were born to rise. And rise you shall. Type "I have risen" in the comments if this speaks to your identity. Blessing code 8811 is now activating your elevation. It was never meant to destroy you. This battle, this pressure, this long, unrelenting season where everything felt delayed, denied, and distorted. It wasn't random. It wasn't punishment. It was prophetic construction. And now, Michael speaks the mystery plainly. This conflict was not to break you but to reveal you. Let that settle into the roots of your soul. Because the enemy tried to convince you that the warfare was proof of disqualification, that the constant attacks, the endless tests, the emotional torment, the silence from God, the shut doors, the closed circles, the betrayals all meant you had failed, that you had lost favor, that you were forgotten. But heaven now thunders back with fire. You were never forgotten. You were being formed. Every battle was a brushstroke in your becoming. Every tear was a chapter in your scroll. And the warfare was not a punishment, it was an announcement. Your spirit had been detected by the spirit realm. Hell noticed. Heaven moved. The shift was set into motion, not because you were weak, but because you were chosen to carry something weighty. Michael declares, you were hidden for a season so you would not be aborted prematurely. What tried to grow you was actually preserving you. What tried to shut you down was actually confirming you. This is the truth that changes everything. You have been revealed. Your name is no longer whispered in dark corners. It has been inscribed in the divine records. Heaven has validated what people could not recognize. And this message, this moment, this very sentence is part of that unveiling. You are no longer in hiding. You are in unveiling. That conflict you couldn't escape was never about what you did. It was about what you carry. You have a spiritual frequency that disrupts darkness, a mantle that breaks cycles, a presence that rearranges atmospheres. And now that presence is no longer under wraps. You have been summoned. The trials you faced were gates to promotion, not signs of spiritual decline. And even though you felt alone, confused, and misunderstood, heaven was watching, weighing, and waiting. And now heaven is releasing. A new mantle is falling on your shoulders even now. A fresh oil is breaking over your life. And with it comes a new level of authority, not earned through ease, but through endurance. You suffered in silence. Now you will speak in authority. You've walked through darkness. Now you will carry light. You battled shame. Now you will release freedom to others bound by it. Everything that came against you is now beneath you. The things that tried to kill you will now serve you. The enemy's strategy has collapsed, because heaven's design hath been fulfilled. You are stepping into recompense, reward, and revelation. Archangel Michael's presence is not just about protection, it's about proclamation. He does not come merely to guard but to confirm, to announce, to unveil. And he declares now, what was hidden is now revealed. What was delayed is now accelerated. What was questioned is now undeniable. Let the ones who doubted watch. Let the ones who whispered wonder. Let the ones who walked away see it with their own eyes. You are not what they left. You are what heaven raised. You feared the conflict, but the conflict was the door. You feared the silence, but the silence was the sanctuary. You feared the pressure, but the pressure was a proof. You feared the breaking, but the breaking was the birthing. And now you walk unveiled, anointed, appointed, and completely seen by heaven. Type "I have been revealed" in the comments if this word confirms what's happening in your spirit. Blessing code 9911 is resting upon your mantle. This is not just a message, it is a mantle delivery. And if this word has unveiled something deep within your soul, then join us in carrying it to others still in hiding. When you support this ministry, you are not giving to a platform. You are releasing revelation into dark places. Be the voice that carries the sound of freedom. Help this message break open scrolls in the hearts of others. Your super thanks, YouTube membership, or PayPal offering link in the description isn't a donation. It's a divine act. A prophetic seed that carries power. Just as heaven has revealed you, now you reveal him. Through giving, through sharing, through bold agreement. I believe with all my spirit, your offering will release answers where others are crying out in silence. Step into this moment. Help this word find the next life ready to awaken. Give into the fire. Let your obedience become someone's unveiling. The scroll hath been opened. The oil has been poured. The warfare has exposed your strength. The unveiling has shattered the old identity. Now, heaven pauses and waits. This entire journey, the pressure, the silence, the separation, the supernatural revelation, it has brought you to this precise moment. Not to impress you, not to inspire you, but to activate you. The war over your life has never been about your past, it has always been about your yes. Your yes is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not poetic. It is a spiritual transaction. And even now, the heavens are leaning in. The spirit realm is silent. Angelic hosts have drawn near, breath held, gaze fixed, waiting for the sound of agreement to come from your lips. Because when heaven speaks, earth must echo. It is not enough to be called, you must answer. It is not enough to be anointed, you must align. And so now, Michael speaks again, but this time not as a messenger of warning or protection, but as a commander issuing orders. Say yes, and everything will change. Let that settle. Everything. Not just the external, the spiritual authority, the divine favor, the sudden access, but the internal. A confusion, clarity, a fear, courage, a fatigue, fire. All of it shifts the moment you declare, I say yes to what heaven has already written about me. This yes is not a feeling. It is a decision. This yes is not delayed. It must be immediate. This yes is what tears open the heavens above you. For too long, the enemy has whispered questions. Are you ready? Are you worthy? Are you strong enough? But those were never heaven's questions. Heaven already knew. Heaven already chose. Heaven already sealed your name in the scroll. The only thing left to determine is whether you will agree. This yes is not passive. It is a fire starter. When you say yes in the Spirit, it doesn't just release angels, It activates assignments. Your yes causes divine connections to locate you. It causes closed doors to remember your knock. It causes provision that's been held up to flow freely into your hands. Michael declares, your yes is a weapon. Your yes is a gate. Your yes is a sound that hell cannot counterfeit. So you must speak it. You must declare it not just with words but with your walk. You must speak it in how you show up, how you pray, how you wait, how you give, how you carry yourself. Your yes becomes your posture, and posture always precedes possession. You stood at the edge of breakthrough before, but this time is different. Because this time, you're not waiting for heaven to move, heaven is waiting for you. Every delay you've experienced is about to collapse under the weight of your obedience. Every lingering warfare is about to fall silent in the presence of your surrender. You don't need another confirmation. You are the confirmation. This isn't about comfort anymore. This is about calling. This isn't about survival anymore. This is about succession. You are not just rising. You are being released. Into purpose. Into power. Into prophetic fulfillment. But only your yes can unlock what heaven is holding in reserve for you. Michael does not speak to the unwilling. He does not linger around the lukewarm. He visits those whose yes has the power to shift timelines and tear down generational altars. That is you. Right now. Do not delay. Do not negotiate. Do not filter your yes through fear. Speak it raw. Speak it full. Speak it loud. Say it from your spirit until the chains that held you tremble in fear. Say it until the atmosphere around your name begins to shift. Say it until the heavens respond with movement. Say, I agree with heaven. I accept my scroll. I say yes to the weight of my calling. I say yes to the fire. I say yes to the next level. This yes is not the end. It's the gate. And on the other side of your yes is everything the enemy tried to keep from you. Type my yes loud in the comments if your spirit is aligned right now. Blessing code 2323 is now released to accelerate your divine momentum. There is a holy silence that surrounds you now, but do not mistake it for inactivity. Do not assume nothing is happening because the noise has faded. In this silence, in this stillness, there is a roar in the spirit, a sound so deep, so divine, it's beyond what your ears can register. It is the sound of exchange. It is the sound of angels negotiating over your name, shifting documents in the spirit, reclaiming territory that was stolen from you before you even knew it belonged to you. It is the sound of heaven enforcing justice on behalf of your obedience. Archangel Michael speaks again, this time not with sword in hand, but with scroll in grip. A scroll filled with every delay, every theft, every loss that occurred while you waited, while you wept, while you warred in silence. And now, he declares, what was stolen is returning. What was delayed is accelerating. What was denied is being redelivered, multiplied. Because your yes wasn't just an agreement. It was currency. And heaven trades in obedience. While you sleep, while you pray, while you sit in quiet faith, heaven is busy. Angels are not idle. They move with precision. They search out records. They review demonic contracts. They overturn illegal delays. They burn the names of false accusations and rewrite the titles placed on you by others. This is happening right now, not in theory, but in the realm of spirit. Your yes caused the courtroom of heaven to open. And now, angels are being dispatched with orders. Some are assigned to finances that were blocked. Some are assigned to relationships that need severing. Some are assigned to prepare divine appointments that will feel like coincidences, but are actually carefully timed breakthroughs. There are even angels handling the words of others, words spoken against you that created confusion, hesitation, or mistrust. Michael says, these voices are being silenced. These curses are being revoked. These altars are being dismantled. Heaven is doing this without you lifting a finger. This is what happens when alignment is sealed. This is what happens when you stop chasing and start trusting. You've been so focused on surviving, you didn't realize that your surrender authorized divine recovery. And now, the Spirit wants you to know. Your spirit already senses what your mind is not yet caught up to. That's why your atmosphere feels strange. That's why your sleep has shifted. That's why your old desires are falling off. You are being rearranged from the inside out. There is a silent exchange taking place. Your weariness for new strength. Your sorrow for new joy. Your rejection for new favor. Your waiting season is being traded for a warring season, and this time, the angels are leading the fight. But do not look for fireworks. This move of God is not coming in noise. It is coming in precision, in quiet breakthroughs, in unexpected emails, in untraceable deliverance, in divine shut doors that protect you from what looked good but carried poison. The exchanges being made right now are sacred. They are not made in public view, but they will produce public impact. And the best part, you didn't earn this. You surrendered for it. That's what triggers divine movement. Not striving, not perfection, but obedient surrender. So hold your peace. Stay in your position. The silent exchange is not complete yet, but it is active. It is real. And soon, very soon, you will begin to see the evidence. You will touch what you only dreamt about. You will walk in places you only prayed about. You will carry what others thought was loss. Because in the spirit realm, your name hath been whispered and heaven has responded with power. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if this message stirs something deep inside you. Blessing code 1001 is now transferring spiritual wealth into your atmosphere. You have never forgotten. Not a single lie spoken against your name. Not one betrayal. Not one act of cruelty hidden beneath religious language. Not one rejection disguised as discernment. Heaven recorded every moment. And now, the scales are tipping. Divine justice hath been activated. Archangel Michael, warrior of the Most High, steps forward not with mere comfort, but with vengeance wrapped in righteousness. He does not come to soothe. He comes to settle. The heavenly courts have heard the cries of your spirit, the groans you could not put into words, the exhaustion you learned to normalize. And heaven's response is this: enough. Now we reverse. Yes, reversal. What they meant for evil, God is turning into elevation. What they whispered in shadows will now be publicly overturned. The places where you were falsely judged, removed, or misunderstood, these very places will now become the stage where honor returns. There are things that were taken from you unfairly: relationships, opportunities, credibility, and influence. But the Lord says, I will not allow what was stolen to define you. I will not let lies bury your legacy. I will now release justice that cannot be silenced. And when heaven releases justice, It is not delayed. It is explosive. You see, there is a law in the spirit that supersedes every earthly verdict, the law of restoration. According to this law, what the enemy stole must be returned sevenfold. According to this law, loss is never the final word. According to this law, God not only restores, He reverses, He overcompensates, He reintroduces His chosen in greater glory than they were removed. Michael has now stepped into enforcement. Angels of justice are being dispatched. The very systems that rejected you are now being required to revisit your name. The hands that closed doors against you will now have no power to stop what heaven reopens. Even the people who thought they buried you, they are about to see resurrection with authority. For too long, they spoke as if they knew your ending. But they didn't see what was being written in heaven. They didn't see the seal of fire placed on your scroll. They didn't hear the divine decree signed by the hand of the Almighty. And now that scroll is being opened. Now that decree is being read aloud into the atmosphere. You are stepping into the hour of divine reversal. Where dishonor stood, now favor will flow. Where betrayal cut deep, now loyal covenant will come. Where you were silenced, now your voice will shake systems. Where you were overlooked, now your name will rise with supernatural recognition. Let it be known, this is not karma. This is not coincidence. This is kingdom justice. Justice that flows from the very throne of the righteous judge. Justice that cannot be bought, silenced, or blocked. Heaven is not asking permission. Heaven is enforcing order. Michael proclaims, the time has come to repay the faithful. The time has come to silence the mockers. The time has come to restore what was crushed beneath the weight of injustice. Your story is not just being healed, it is being rewritten. And those who watched from afar, those who assumed the worst, those who profited from your pain, they will now have to witness your rising. And they will not be able to deny it. For it is written, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. And you, yes, you, are that stone. You are not bitter. You are not broken. You are not bound. You are justified. You are vindicated. You are rising with fire and favor. Type heaven is my judge in the comments if your spirit bears witness to this word. Blessing code 7700 is releasing divine reversal into your life this very hour. Let everything fall silent now. Let the winds be hushed. Let the earth hold its breath. Let every lying voice, every lingering shadow, every echo of shame bow in reverence, because what heaven has decreed today is final. This is the message Archangel Michael was commanded to deliver. This is the scroll heaven waited generations to unroll in your direction. This is your life, summed up by fire, and placed before you with urgency and love. From the first word to the last moment, this has never been about mere information. This has been a divine summons. A heavenly court session convened over your name. A prophetic hour, where heaven waited, watched, and listened, not just for your hearing but for your answer. And now the record is complete. You have been seen in the silence. You have been remembered in the warfare. You have been summoned by revelation. You have been invited into destiny. You have been warned in love. You have been instructed with protection. You have been strengthened with truth. You have been activated in authority. You have been exchanged in the Spirit. You have been vindicated by justice. And now you are blessed. This is not a temporary word. This is not a fleeting feeling. This is a supernatural impartation, one that lives in your bones, in your breath, in the very rhythm of your next steps. From this moment forward, nothing remains the same. You will walk differently. You will pray differently. You will carry weight in the spirit that your past self could never contain. The warfare over your life, now repurposed. The wounds that nearly broke you, now oil. A silence you feared, now sanctuary. The rejection you endured, now evidence. The promise delayed, now accelerating. Heaven has not just seen you. Heaven has sealed you. You are not just chosen, you are commissioned. Michael doesn't visit the uncalled. He does not stand beside the passive. He walks with the ones who say yes, and now he walks beside you. Let it be known in heaven and on earth. Your scroll has been opened, your mantle has been released, and your future has been formally initiated by the decree of the Most High. Now go forth. You are no longer bound by your past. You are no longer delayed by fear. You are no longer hidden by silence. You are sent, and the power of God walks with you. You will discern in new levels. You will speak in new authority. You will love without compromise. You will move with precision. You will operate in prophetic insight. You will shatter strongholds. You will carry the frequency of heaven in your very presence. You are not waiting for confirmation anymore. You are the confirmation. You are the fulfillment of prophetic promises spoken over generations. You are the result of intercessions prayed by voices you've never met. You are anointed for such a time as this. Michael's final words echo now. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. Type "I receive my final sealing" in the comments if this word has marked your soul. Blessing code 3333 has now sealed your mantle with heaven's fire. This message wasn't content, it was covenant. If your soul was marked today, if your spirit felt fire in these words, then you know this is holy ground. And now I invite you, not to help a channel, but to help a commission. When you sow into this word, whether through super thanks, YouTube membership, or a PayPal offering link in the description, you're doing more than giving. You're commissioning the next revelation. You're sending the scroll to someone who doesn't even know they need it yet. Your seed carries fire. Your support carries prophetic movement. When you give, you're declaring, "I stand with heaven's voice on earth." As Michael sealed your word today, seal your response through giving. Let your obedience carry this mantle forward, to nations, to the forgotten, to the ones still silent. Let the next soul rise because you helped send the word. Now is your moment. Don't delay. To port the mission. Seal your scroll with action.